This video is about how to determine the rule of a numeric pattern. So a numeric pattern, we know by now, is a pattern which has a constant difference, which means it's added or subtracted something all the time to get to the next term. So let's say the following pattern was given: 9, 14, 19, 24. Then 9 is term 1, and I mark it T1 for term 1. 14 is term 2, 19 is term 3, 24 is term 4, and any numbered term after that we call Tn. N stands for any number. Okay, so that's what I want to determine. If I have to get a rule to determine any term in the row, in the pattern, then I use Tn. Okay, so I can have any number in the place of n. First, I determine the constant difference. The constant difference, what do I do to 9 to get to 14? I add 5. From 14 to 19, I add 5. So plus 5 is the constant difference all the time. Then the first question is, determine the general term or the rule to determine the nth term. Okay, so it will be something like that. If you see something about the general term, the rule, or the nth term, it means that I have to determine a rule for Tn. Okay, Tn, I say, is equal to something n plus something. Okay, that is the format in which I will determine the rule. Now, in the place of the first block, I need to put something, and that will be the constant difference. The constant difference in this case is 5. So, where did I get that 5? It's the constant difference. I put that in the place of the first block. So, first I have Tn is going to be equal to 5n, and then I still need something for the last block. To get the answer for the last block, I ask myself, I take the constant difference and I ask myself, what do I do to that 5 constant difference to get to 9? So I take the first term. So what do I do to 5 to get to 9? I add 4. So the rule will be Tn is equal to 5n plus 4. How did I get that again? In the first block, I just put the constant difference, which was 5. And in the second block, I ask myself, what do I do to the constant difference to get to the first term, which is 9? 5 plus what gives me 9? 5 plus 4 gives me 9. Sometimes I should subtract in the end. Okay, so Tn is equal to 5n plus 4. That is the rule. That means, let's test that quickly. If I put any number in the place of n, here and there, then I should get the correct answer for that term. So let's try term 4. Okay, so I'm going to say term 4 is equal to 5 times 4 plus 4. Okay, why did I do that? If I have an n here, then I should have an n in the formula. If I have a 4 here, then I should have a 4 in the formula. Okay, so 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4 is 24. Is that the correct answer for term 4? Yes, that is. So that means our rule is correct. But I just tested that rule. It's not necessary to do that. They only asked for the rule, and I did determine that. Next question is use the rule to determine term 51. Okay, so term 51 will be somewhere along the pattern, but first I write down the rule. Tn is 5n plus 4. So term 51 is 5 times 51 plus 4. Because remember, if I put an n by the t, then there's an n in the formula. If I put 51 by the t, then there's 51 in the formula. So 5 times 51 is 245 plus 4 is 259. 255 plus 4 is 259. Okay, so please check that with your calculator so that you know that you're with me, and then we are going to do another example. The second example is 4, 7, 10, 13. First, I determine the constant difference. To get from 4 to 7, I add 3. So I add 3 all the time. The constant difference will be 3. The first question is determine the general term or the rule to determine the nth term. Okay, so I have Tn is equal to block n plus block. Something n plus something. I have to put numbers in the places of the blocks. Okay, the first block will be replaced with a constant difference. Can you remember what the constant difference was? It was 3, so I'm going to put that in the place of the block. So it's going to be 3n. And then, what did I say again? I have to take the constant difference and see what I have to do to get to 4. What do I do to 3 to get to 4? I add 1. So it's going to be 3n plus 1. That is the rule. Then, the question is, use the rule to determine term number 100. Okay, so the rule was Tn is equal to 3n plus 1. So now I put 100 in the place of n. So 3 times 100 plus 1 is 301. Which means that the 100th term in the row will be 301. Then the last question that I can get is use the rule to determine which term will be equal to 214. So we had term 1 was 4, term 2 was 7, term 3 was 10, and so we went on, and they want to know which term will be 214. Okay, so what I will do here is I will write down the rule first. Tn is equal to 3n plus 1. Then, in the place of Tn, I will put the answer that they gave me. They say that the answer should be 214. So that I put in the place of Tn. So 214 is equal to 3n plus 1. Then I solve for n. Because if I solve for n, I will solve the question. Okay, 1 goes over, it becomes negative 1. I'm subtracting 1, so 214 minus 1 is 213 is equal to 3n. Then to get rid of the 3, I'm dividing by 3, so n is equal to 71. That means that the 71th term will be equal to 214. So the answer for this question is term 71 will be 214.